Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. Boxing, find a way to win, find a way to lose. Check this out. Just when it seemed like the path to three-time undisputed for Terence Crawford, like that ship had sailed, let me tell you something. This man, Terence Crawford, could be on his way to 5-time undisputed. Now that is a serious conversation we need to have. But at the same time, all the stars would have to line up in order for that to take place. So I'm realistic about it. Will it happen? I'll just say, we don't know. But could it happen? Okay? It could. But like I said, the stars have to line up. We got to understand what is going on. Excuse me, I'm eating grapes, right? I won't eat another one, I'm sorry. They just got these cotton candy grapes. It tastes good, man. But let's understand, how can we get there? Right now, we know Terence Crawford. He's a 2-time undisputed, right? Him, and we all know, because she won't let us forget, Clarissa Shields. Both of them, 2-time undisputed, 4-belt era, okay. Job well done. However, as far as Terence Crawford at 147, the Errol Spence match is next. We know that is going to happen. Bomac even came out and said it's going to happen. He didn't say what weight, but what he did say, that's what's going to happen, and he feels that Crawford is just basically going to do the Spence. At whatever weight they fight at, the same thing he did at 147. Outcome's going to be the same, could be worse. Majority of people agree with Bomac. But once he gets past Spence, early next year. Now, I understand Terence Crawford's only been fighting like once a year. I get all that, but his man wants to fight 3 times a year now, okay? But if the stars were to line up, they'd have to really line up. That means he'd have to get in there with Errol Spence, get him, just within the first couple of rounds, take absolutely no damage, destroy Errol Spence, meaning that he could turn around and get right back in the ring, okay? We know this whole thing at 147, let me tell y'all something. I get mandatories, I understand. What I'm doing is just having a conversation. We know the boxing, politics, and secret society and key decision makers, and these guys who want to be stubborn, and these sanctioning bodies want to get their little 3%, whatever hell percentage they're taking off of fighters' purses. We understand all of that could kind of muddle up this whole dream world that we're trying to create here, as far as Terence Crawford getting to 5-time undisputed. Now, realistically, he could happen probably 2024, more like between 2024 and 2025. But in 2024, if Terence Crawford clipped Errol Spence early, took no damage, and Tim Tszyu and Jermell Charlo had a scrap early 2024, right? And let's say that fight, we know Jermell just got hit with a mandatory to fight this guy, Murtaza Zaliev, or whatever it is, for the IBF strap, right? Let's say Jermell clips him, and then somehow him and what's his name get in the ring. Him and Tszyu get in the ring, let's say by the summer, okay? Then Crawford and the winner of Jermell Charlo and Tszyu could fight June, July, August, September, maybe October. Because if Charlo can get his guy out of there early 2024, thinking like January, February, and then Charlo get in the ring March, April, May, like around May, June with Tszyu, then Crawford could find himself in a scrap with one of them maybe by October, maybe, definitely by the end of the year. So Crawford could fight, and he could win that fight, right? And become undisputed. Okay? But this is what makes this interesting. No one's talking about this. Now that's at 154. So by the end of next year, stars could line up, but Crawford could end up picking up that third undisputed distinction, right? But check this out. He could get a fourth one, because when you look at Janibek Alimkhanuly, right? This man just unified the 160-pound weight division, right? So he now holds the WBO and IBF straps. He's right there, about to become undisputed at 160 pounds. Now take a look at who holds the belts. Jamal Charlo, Lara. Jamal is coming back right now. He's fighting Jose Benavidez. I don't know what Erislandy Lara is doing. I thought he was fighting Danny Garcia. I don't know what he's doing. But Janibek Alimkhanuly, he just fought right this past weekend. November, September, October, November, December. So let's say next year, he gets an opportunity. If these guys will fight him, I doubt they will. He may be forced to he may end up looking at fighting Chris Eubank Jr., because Eubank Jr. is the number one under the WBO. But what I'm saying is, Jamal fights Benavidez, maybe Erislandy Lara fights Alimkhanuly. You know, I understand there's all kind of rumors about what Lara's doing next. But if Lara fights Alimkhanuly will beat him. Now Alimkhanuly will have the WBO, IBF, and WBA strap. And then we got to see what Jamal Charlo is going to end up doing. Now, maybe, hopefully, you know, after he gets back in the ring, he stays active. Maybe by the summer, or maybe around August, if this is what stars lining up, now you get him to get in the ring and fight for undisputed at 160. If he wants to come back down to 160. Do you understand? So we could see a situation realistically. I mean, the stars would have to line up. It would have to be a perfect world for this to happen. We know more than likely it probably won't happen, but things are possible, right? Because, hey, the fighting for a unification or for an undisputed distinction, that supposedly takes precedence, right? As long as everybody agrees, right? It all boils down to money, we get it. But could you imagine now, if we come back down here to 154, Charlo and Tszyu fight early next year, and then Crawford gets that fight by the summer sometime, or later in the year, and then he happens to, by the end of the year, and he happens to win, becomes three-time undisputed at 154, and then by the end of the year, you could see where we have an undisputed fighter at 160. And now, early 2025, Crawford says, hey, I want to bubble up and challenge Alimkhanuly for the undisputed distinction at 160. And let's say in a perfect world, he beats him at 160. And whoever's floating around here at 168 has the undisputed distinction. And then Crawford bubbles up and fights in 2025 for the undisputed distinction at 168. Crawford could, let me tell you something. I just don't think Crawford has the right connections for that to happen. But it is something that is realistic. Now, is it going to happen? I would tend to say probably not. But when we look at it on paper, it is definitely something that could happen within 2 years, 3 years. 2 years especially. You know what I'm saying? So you got Crawford and Spence at 147, right? The rematch. Then you could have Crawford fighting the winner of Tszyu and Jamel by the end of next year, right? That'll make him 3-time. Then early 24, he could fight Alan Canuli, if Alan Canuli gets the opportunity in 2024 to become undisputed. He could fight him in 2025 early. And then after that, try to bubble up if the secret society cooperates, the sanctioned bodies cooperate, and get a shot at the undisputed distinction at 168. But we know there's mandatories and everything else. But this whole thing about 3 times, hell, Crawford could mess around and go become 5-time undisputed. That's just being real. So I think Crawford is definitely, since we're looking at it, right? I think Crawford could definitely and should definitely at least be in position to fight for undisputed in 3 different weight divisions at a minimum. Because if the stars line up, he can be 5-time undisputed in 5 different weight divisions. But I think realistically, there's no doubt in my mind anymore, none at all, that Terence Crawford will fight to become undisputed. It'll be his 3rd undisputed distinction in his 3rd weight class. There's no doubt in my mind that before he retires, that's going to happen. At which weight? I'm thinking 154 is more likely. 160, 168, I don't know. But what I do know is it's possible. It's possible. It can be a little bit of wishful thinking on my part, but then again, we're just having a conversation. But it could happen. 168, look, they're talking about that right now. We know that everybody else seems to be getting involved and trying to block the fight, but I'm not here to talk about the negative aspect of it. I'm here to talk about the fact that this is something, if all parties cooperate, that it could happen. And then at 160, the fact that Alan Canuli, let me tell you something. He would beat, it just depends on what's going on with Jamal. Adamus is a monster, but Alan Canuli is a problem. Them Kazakhstanians, man, them triple Gs, they get busy. He beats Lara, and I don't know. I just think he beats everybody at 160 right now. He's looking to be the boogeyman. But Alan Canuli could be undisputed, man, by the end of next year. And then down at 154, we know what should be happening is by the summer of next year, Jamel Charlo ends. So now you have an undisputed distinction there. So what you would have as somebody with undisputed at 147, which would be Crawford. You would have someone undisputed at 154, which would be Jamel or Zoo, whoever wins. If Jamel gets past his guy, then you would have Alan Canuli undisputed at 160. Then up here at 168, you'd have, Canelo Alvarez or Benavidez or whatever the hell is going on at 168. But somebody would be undisputed at 168. So you'd have 4 different weight divisions. And the WBO has those funky rules where guys can bubble up and challenge, right? Especially when you're talking about undisputed. That could be something that gets pushed because it's such a big deal. And then to make things even more interesting, seeing that the damn WBC is now kind of easing up on old Bivol, you could see Bivol and Bertabiev by that time having fought if Bertabiev keep winning and Bivol can keep winning. Then you can have an undisputed champion at 175. So depending on stars lining up, I'm just saying this is just having a conversation. People don't come out about, you don't know nothing about boxing. That's not going to happen. Look here, brainiacs. We're just having a conversation. Could you imagine going up now and Crawford just keeping the party going and bubbles up from 147, 154, 160, 168, now going to challenge at 175 for another undisputed distinction? You guys see in these weight divisions how close it is to having an undisputed champion. So you got 147, you got 154, 160, 168, 175. 5 weight divisions. Now when we look up at cruiserweight, I think Jai Apataya is the guy who's going to become undisputed at cruiserweight. Now, that seems to be a little bit, that's kind of fragmented. He still has to try to become unified first, and then he still has some work to do, but who knows? He may become undisputed there. But, Crawford ain't going all the way up to 200 pounds. But you guys understand what I'm saying. It just this 160-pound weight division just made it even more interesting as far as Terence Crawford having another avenue to try to get to that 3-time undisputed. Now, will he win? I don't know. You know, Alan Canuli is no joke. He really is. But that being said, hey, normally I'm quick to say let's hold our horses and stop taking it to the stupid. But having a conversation and really understanding what's developing here, things looking a little bit juicy. And what I'm getting at is Crawford will have several different weight divisions for him to try to get a shot at an undisputed distinction. So there's no doubt in my mind that he will get a shot. At what weight class, I don't know. But he will get a shot to try to become a 3-time undisputed. I just don't know what weight class, but I would think 154 is probably where it's going to happen. But it could happen at 160. And, you know, the fact that there's so much money behind a Crawford and Canelo fight, that shit could be 168. And if all the stars land, like I was telling you, it could be 154, 160, and 168. Now he's a 5-time. See what I'm saying? That being said, let's see how the cards fall. But one thing for sure, man, because I'm just looking at this and thinking, even though you can say, you know what, hey man, all that sounds good, but more than likely it won't happen. I'm not going to say you're wrong. But what I'll say is, I don't think you can disagree with me that it does look like things are shaping up to where Crawford should, at a minimum, get a shot at becoming a 3-time undisputed. No matter what roadblocks they're putting in front of this man, there just seems to be other opportunities that are starting to create themselves, which may give him a path to that 3rd undisputed distinction. Could be 4. And in a perfect world, if Hood Champion had control of it, could be 5. But at least 3. There's no doubt in my mind Crawford's going to get that shot. Will he become? I don't know. But will he get the shot? I think so. I'm going to say 100% chance he gets a shot at another undisputed opportunity. I just don't know at what weight division. I'm thinking 154. Anyway, I talked enough. Y'all keep cool. Leave your comments below. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to eat these grapes. I'm in the breeze.